why young people are. Oh, what?
No, nothing.
Oh, wait, why young people fail? Yeah, because they watch TikTok. But
Subscribe to our TikTok.
yeah, watch
I
our.
watch my news on TikTok.
Huh?
I watch my news and I watch like who got shot in Surrey today on TikTok. Yeah, like if I'm in any city, I wanna like hey famous food in the city. I go on TikTok.
So he's an example.
He's an example of why. What generation are you again? Z?
No.
You're not millennial. No, you're not millennial.
96 born.
Yeah, he's millennial.
Yeah.
Are you? You're ruining. Dude, you're giving us a bad rep, man.
Bro, it's like this. You know when you crave that kind of like I'm watching everybody getting because I'm meeting all these people in their early 20s, late late 19s. So I see them like they're screwed, and I'm the only one who's like behaving like mature here,
Mm-hmm.
and I will be cancelled. So then I'm like, no, I gotta use TikTok too.
Oh, so what you saying is
I'm being
they didn't
part
pre.
of the pro-
He's getting with
I'm
the
being, I'm
times.
becoming the part of the problem.
They, yeah, yeah. You're like I wasn't part of the problem. I want to be part of the problem.
Yes.
So okay, let's start out with the state of thought. It's episode something. I still don't know what I'm doing, but we're still here. We're still talking. So today we're gonna talk about a continuation of what we're talking about. How young people are screwed. Sorry, maybe not so screwed, but you're kind of screwed right now. Okay, Pratik thinks we're screwed. So why? Why do we feel that way? Is like because
It's the time they're born. That's it.
huh?
The curse they're born in these times.
Yeah, Pratik's very spiritual. He says you guys are born at the wrong time.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's karmic.
I mean, technically, I was born at the wrong time, too. If I was born in, like, the 60s, I would be a boomer, and therefore I would have a house.
No, you'll be
Multiple.
Multiple
What do
houses.
you mean by a house?
Yeah.
Multiple houses.
Yeah, multiple houses. But now I'm born in this generation where,
The house will only cost like potatoes.
yeah. Now we got to work 3 jobs, and,
Afford a rental.
yeah. That's the thing that kills me, is whenever we're online, it's like, you will own nothing and be happy.
And you were spending most of your time with your family and the people who matter to you, friends, doing things, this and that, and not on your phone.
It's not liquor.
Computer, TV screen, and your fancy Tesla screens.
We're exposed to a lot of stuff. So, to continue that, the reason why we think this generation is not to be negative, but really is an empathetic level is that I understand that, you know what, it's especially time of the job market. This isn't about job markets and all that stuff, but it's really understanding that I think a younger generation is not looking for the perfect life. What they're looking for is
Validation.
validation, stability. What they want is purpose, because now it's like you finish school, even if you get a job, these jobs don't pay you enough to survive. And then it's like you go home at the end of the day, and now they're feeling like burnout.
Do you feel most of them have a purpose? You know, I don't see the young generation, the generation from like General Faz and all these people, like the newer generation. I think the biggest problem is not having a purpose. You know,
Well, that's
when you're just walking, but you don't have a goal, you don't have an aim, you don't have a destination in your mind. You're just walking.
well, that's exactly it, right? Like, let's just be real. Is that how do you, like, when everything you get told from the time you're like young and you're kind of been brainwashed to think, hey, you know what, you have to go to school, you have to get good grades, because good grades are going to get you into a better school where you're going to have to get better grades, and with a better grade then you're going to be able to get a better job, and a better job means you can actually survive. That's the issue, I think, is that we become so utilitarian. Like, why is it that, like, let's just think about it. It's like, why is it that good grades means that you get to go to a better school? Don't you think education should be for everybody?
Yeah, but the education is the part of the brainwashing.
That is the
It's part of
brainwashing.
the brainwashing.
That's exactly what it is. And you know what? Like, we can get into it, but really, that's kind of the idea, is really there's no purpose. So then, like, you think about the other side, like, they think, like, you know, a lot of, like, older people think, you know, this young guy just jumps, like, 10 different jobs. He has no commitment to a job.
Yeah, because not finding the purpose.
Yeah, and I honestly don't blame them because, like, to be honest, like, why stay at one job that treats you like like, I think I would assume that anyone that's like Gen Z or whatever probably has gotten multiple jobs to try to find a better place, more reason to work there, something better that makes them happy because no one's happy. Like, imagine going to work for 8 hours a day and hating the people you work with. Like, that'd be like torture. Might as well just torture yourself at home, right? So,
The thing is, what I feel like, working with the new generation, um, they don't have any patience. Like you tell them like to do any work or give them any extra task, you're done.
of course.
They'll not do the work. They're like, yeah, we. It's the reason is they're seeing their friends and their the group they're living their lives amongst that. Hey, oh, that your boss told you to do something, or like your manager told you to do something. He's too like you put too much pressure and this and that. You know what? You should quit. And that's where they planted a seed. And now from that on, every single moment you're gonna go to work or anywhere, oh, they should not treat you like that. But it's part of the. It's I think that's the difference between different generations is when I joined my first job, I was told from my parents, mentors, even like my professors, like, hey, pressure will come, right? Pressure will be on you. You have to cope up with it. And I will not say it's sacrifice or compromise. It's part of the process, and that makes you stronger as a being. But now, I think the newer generation is not built because they're brainwashed or they're like mentally trained a different way where hey, don't listen if somebody's telling you something to do something or something that you don't like. It's just the whole mind game, the perspective, um, and the way they're told things is different from the 90s kid or the 80s kids were told.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you in that sense that I think what in my opinion as I no I don't disagree with you. I think we've dialed it too much to the other side. Like when I was working in a specific company, this company was an Asian company, and it was frowned upon to leave early. It was frowned upon to question things. You are expected to do more.
Of
If you
course.
don't do more, you're failing. It was the conditioning. And I think the thing is like with modern labor laws and all this stuff now, and now with more social media, now more about diversity and all that blah blah blah, whatever DEI stands for, all that good stuff or whatever bad stuff, however way you review it. I think now we've dialed it too much the other way. Now it's like now whenever you ask somebody to do something, they don't want to do it. But then the other thing too is like we got to look at it from another angle is if you were offered tomorrow to flip burgers, right? And they paid you $100,000 to do it. Would you flip burgers?
Can do it.
100%.
100%. So part of it too is like, can anyone really be like more like let's call it what it is, like black and white. Today's time, money is God.
Oh yeah.
It is money. Like we worship it, we pray for it, we long for it, we yearn for it, we do everything with it. We go to sleep thinking about it. It weighs on us, it draws on us, it does everything to us. It makes us go crazy,
Yeah.
or it gives us peace. So this is the thing is like nobody is motivated to do anything because really, if you think about it, it's like I find it really hard to be motivated to do stuff because like to make enough money to survive, which isn't usually the case because you have to work for a company, then like, you know, why, right?
But that's the thing, like if you think about all the most successful people from past or even in present right now, when you listen to them, they always say this that we were we always thought about the problem and then we figured out or we thought about the solution to it. And money was a byproduct. And money came in like huge numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because they went out and were like, hey, we need to figure out the problem. Like what's the issue? What's the problem? And they came with a very nice solution to it It can be and it's every industry. It can be fast food, technology, internet, whatever. Um, but that's what I'm saying. Purpose. They went with a purpose, and purpose brought money with it in
But
huge numbers.
that's always a success story though, right? Like, let's call it what it is like, well, we don't know the other side of the table, right? Like, it's written in books and all this stuff is like their purpose is to solve a problem. We know, like, hey, you know what, like, they started out in a garage doing this, like Dyson wanted to make a vacuum cleaner or whatever. Like, I get it. This is the common success story across every entrepreneur, because once again, like, we were talking about brainwashing, but what makes you, like, what makes us think that this is the true black and white story? Because we didn't live that life. But I'm not saying that it's wrong to not have purpose, but I'm just saying, like, now where people are getting told, hey, everything that they knew was wrong. Because keep in mind too, a lot of these successful people that have these multi-billion-dollar companies were inventing stuff when we needed this stuff. Now we have inventions that are like dumb. We have so many dumb inventions.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So here's an example, right? Is like, you know, like, I was watching a YouTube about like the history of, like, in the, was it the subprime mortgage crisis back in like 2018 or whatever the heck it was, like, regardless, whatever the date is. But basically the thing is, like, China had this huge boom, right? Because, like, you know, people were running out of money, like, people were losing money, houses and all this stuff back in America, right? And then what happened was they wanted to shift people to start spending money and buying more in China. So that's when, like, China boomed, right? It was during that subprime mortgage crisis or whatever happened that time. But what was crazy was, like, at that point, let's just use this as an example, is a guy could sell doors and he could be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Guess what every house needs?
Doors.
A door. He wasn't reinventing the wheel, but he could make $1 million. But I'm just saying, like, I don't disagree. Like, we need purpose, but it's so hard to find purpose. It's like, you know, we got to look at things the other side too. Is like, we can grind and grind and grind, but, like, the next generation of people, like, we're dealing with, like, we see it in retail, we see it in fast food. Like, you think these guys are gonna get anywhere doing what they're doing? And then you kind of get like, we're kind of in the same boat. We're older, but we're still fucked.
Yeah.
Right? So then the question is, what is the issue or what is the solution? So that's why we're trying to do the podcast, so we can bring people on to figure this out, because we don't know what the solution is. I mean, we can blame boomers. Boomers bought everything.
Pretty much.
And they live forever. But I love my grandparents. They're not here anymore, but I loved them when they were alive.
They must have left you a property.
No,
Oh,
because they were immigrants and refugees, but I love them to death. But you know what? The problem at the end of the day is, like, yeah, like, to find purpose, you have to figure it out. You have to,
You have to figure it out yourself.
Have to
Or we can help you figure it out.
we could help you, but we're not self-help.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing will come from this other than just bantering. If you want to listen, you want to listen. If you like what you hear or you don't like what you hear, you can put it in the comments. If you don't like what you hear, we'll probably ignore it because we're not interested in it.
Wait, we're not gonna sell a course?
Have you heard about drop shipping? I don't think it's all, like, all hope is lost. I think right now what's good is that younger people are recognizing that the system is failing. That's why we see more posts about being more aware, being more conscious, because I think true wealth is our consciousness. To be able to think for yourself, to be able to make your own decisions. And I think younger generations now are aware of that. That's why there is brain drain. Like, they're realizing, hey, you know what? This country is not working for me. I'm going to leave this country. I want to try something different. I'm going to take a risk.
Yeah.
I think younger generations are aware of this. That's why we have a lot of personalities now, right? Like, everyone is a content creator. They're hustling.
Camera is very accessible.
Camera is accessible, right? You just need a phone. Obviously, what was brought here was probably very
Just
couple lights,
chair.
some buddies,
That's
and you can create anything. You can even create a podcast where someone might not take anything. But guess what? When we're like 60 and we're like sitting around on a patio chair, and we're like, we'll look back at our video, we'll be like, holy shit, we did something, and we were idiots altogether.
Oh,
Yeah. But anyways, I don't know. I'm just digressing. But I think, like, at the end of the day, like, I think soul searching is good. Staying curious is good. trying to figure out like what you want to do in life. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, like, who cares? Like, if you want to go chill out and play games and take it easy until you figure it out, do it.
That makes you happy.
It makes you happy. Like, honestly,
That's a wealth. If
Yeah.
you figure out what makes you happy, you figure it out.
yeah. That's why like doing this podcast is more than anything an outlet.
Like Alex, like how he can make his Audi more fancy.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
The power of AliExpress.
Yeah.
You have to plug it in. How do you stay curious when there's a mental crisis going around? People are not finding jobs. There's a money shortage, of course. How do you stay curious when their lives are not being fulfilled?
I think that's why you have to do like, people were like, a friend asked me for advice and I said like, he's like, oh, I'm looking for work. I can't get any work. And then the first question is like, okay, well, that's probably the same case for everybody because everyone's using ChatGPT to make resumes. Recruiters are using AI to filter ChatGPT resumes. And then you're like, it's like, we're playing 4D chess, they're playing like 5D chess, and you're like, okay, nothing's working. So like, let's call it what it is, like whatever you like. But to be honest, yeah, there's a job shortage, but like, there's nothing stopping anybody from doing learning or reading.
There's a population shortage right now, and he be talking about jobs.
We'll talk about online dating later and the birthing crisis. Because if people don't start going to Korea to have kids, we won't have Samsung.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyways, to answer your question is like, how do you combat that? Is like, I think the best thing is like you either keep trying. I'm not saying like the answer is not to go and start a business because not every business succeeds. But I think a lot of things people can do is start to figure out like who you really are and what you really like and what makes you happy. Because nowadays, like, it doesn't matter. If you can't afford a house, you can't afford a car, you can't afford all this stuff, at least do something that makes you happy. If you can't even do that and then you're miserable, then it. Like, don't even do it. Like, that's the part I don't get is why do anything like that you don't like. At my age now, it's like I only do things I enjoy. If I don't enjoy it, then I don't do it. Like, I told my friends sitting on the sofa, if I don't truly enjoy this, I would not do this. What's the point? It'd be a waste. It'd be a waste of everyone's time, right? If they didn't have fun, they won't do this.
That defeats the purpose if you don't, because what we are trying to figure out is how to figure out what do you enjoy,
Yeah.
right? I think that's the whole purpose. Otherwise, everybody's in this rat race.
This is why that we're creating a community or a tribe, because a tribe is stronger together, of people who are so join us because we're the founding members of the
unfuckery society.
We're working on it. We're working on getting on. But I think the whole purpose of this podcast is to recognize that there are things that there's things that people want to say, they just don't say it, right? We're just saying the quiet part out
Yeah,
loud.
because they're afraid.
Yeah.
They don't want to get
They don't
canceled.
have, okay, cancel us. Like, what are we going to do? Like, you too. Like, what are you going to do? But to be honest, like, that's the whole idea of this podcast, right? Like, it's fun. Like, we're just having conversations about the topics that we think is interesting because it is interesting. Like, younger people can definitely relate. Like, you probably feel and don't worry. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're 25 or 40. Yeah, you're not the only one, right? So now, like I said, is like in my last video, is like, it's not about the come to Dubai, Habibi. Like, now it's about real content with real people who struggle, who is like, this isn't perfect. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, 5 weeks ago, I just watched my first podcast because I thought someone talking to a microphone and talking to somebody else cannot be entertaining. Then I watched it. I was like, this is not bad. And then I was like to my friends, you know what? I have a pretty polarizing personality. You either hate me or you love me. And I'm sure you can tell by now that the guys sitting in front of me are okay with me. They tolerate me.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Shaky.
Heart. But to be honest, like, I think, like, I'm not saying go and start a podcast. But I'm just saying, like, at least now we have an avenue where after we work, we can bitch about stuff. It's not perfect, but it doesn't matter.